Alright guys, this is a boxing workout, 20 minutes, 5 rounds, 3 minutes each with a 1-minute break in between for a total of 20 rounds. In this first round, we're doing warm-up shadow boxing. So just getting the body loose, getting the shoulders loose, the legs, the hips, not trying to throw any hard punches or really fast punches, just getting it in, getting warmed up. Shadow boxing is actually a really good exercise to hone your skills. I feel that a lot of times it's even better than hitting the heavy bag, because in shadow boxing you're able to follow through with your punches and really play with your imagination and try to imagine an opponent standing in front of you and what kind of things that they would throw at you and how you defend it, how you counter, and how you disguise your power shots, how you bait them into coming into you and then countering. So all of those things are things that you can work on during a shadow boxing routine. So it's really not just mindlessly moving around and just trying to look or feel like a boxer, but you're really actually trying to visualize and trying to imagine what you're doing and what your opponent is doing in front of you. It's a lot easier if you previously have some sparring experience, so you have a point of reference in your memory to visualize and to imagine while you're shadow boxing. It is a bit difficult if you don't have any sparring experience to try to imagine an opponent in front of you when you're shadow boxing. So if you are into boxing and developing your boxing skills, I do highly suggest that you go to a boxing gym at least every now and then to gain that experience. And this is the next round, so we're moving on to the heavy bag. I don't have a heavy bag at home, but I do have the aqua bag, which is basically the same. The only thing that this one doesn't allow you to do is to practice body punches, but it's really good to throw straight punches as well as uppercuts. And the nice thing about the aqua bag, at the height that I suspended here, I'm able to practice weaving as well. So I can kind of push the bag, and as it's coming my way, I can practice weaving and countering with an uppercut. So here, the first round of the aqua bag is really just throwing straight punches, just ones and twos with different combinations: 1-2, 1-1-2, 1-2, 1-1-2, and triple ones to 2. As always, I'm always trying to integrate some defensive maneuvers into my combination, just trying to get your body used to moving defensively as well, instead of just throwing haymakers and throwing punches. I'm not a competitive boxer, but I really like the art of boxing. It's really fun. It's almost like a game to me, and that's why the defensive aspect of boxing is really interesting to me, because it's much more elusive and difficult than the offense. I really love the defensive and countering aspect of boxing. That's why I really love Floyd Mayweather's type of boxing. You don't have to rely so much on power and speed and ferocity. It's more of a calculated way of boxing. And it makes sense also for somebody like me who is getting older. I can't really compete with the young guys anymore when it comes down to speed and power and endurance. So if when I do get the opportunity to spar with guys at the boxing gym, I tend to have to spar this way, because I don't want to take hits to the head, or I'm also not trying to knock anybody out, right? So it's really trying to practice combos and defensive maneuvers and counter maneuvers. So here we're still in the first round and just ended. Take a 1-minute break before we move on to the next round. I do this kind of workout in between my lifting days. I think it's a really good way to stay active without really having to kill your muscles, and allowing them to recover, at the same time allowing them to stay active, stay moving, get some sweat going. You can basically, if you follow my workout program, right now I'm doing a 3 days per week full body program with kettlebells and calisthenics. So the days in between my workout days, I always try to stay active. So in this case, I like to do some boxing workouts at home, or I do mobility exercises, stretches. I think it's really good for keeping your body loose, keeping your body healthy, and energized, so you can keep going for longer. So here now, the next round of the heavy bag, we're throwing looping punches. So the previous round we focused more on warming up with straight punches. Here we're doing looping punches. So left hooks, right hooks, left uppercuts, and right uppercuts. So this is what I was talking about earlier. One of the things I really like about the aqua bag is I'm able to practice weaving and countering with hooks and uppercuts. You see, I keep my feet planted on the floor in order to generate faster and more powerful hooks and uppercuts. I think a lot of people bounce a lot on their feet, which I think, it's good when you're kind of moving around the ring and you're trying to create some distance, or you're trying to move around your opponent. But when you're in this range, you're standing toe to toe and you're trading punches, or you're trying to evade their punches and countering. I found that it's much better to keep your feet planted on the ground, and that way you can roll and weave much more explosively, much faster, and shoot counters back faster as well. So here again, you can see that I'm working on defense. I'm imagining punches coming my way and how I'm countering, and moving around, creating some distance, remeasuring, and re-engaging again. So as I was saying earlier, if boxing is not your thing, you can replace this with any other kind of activity that you enjoy doing in between your lifting days. Again, if you follow my full body workout program, 3 days a week, the 2 days in between, you can do whatever you want that you like. I highly suggest not staying inactive. I think active rest day is always much better than inactivity. Even if it's very, very light, even if it's just walking, even if it's just stretching, you can do things that are more recreational as well. Play basketball, swimming, tennis, golf, whatever it is that you like. I think it's an opportunity to not only let your body recover, but also your mind. When you do this kind of in-between active recovery activities, it's really fun, right? It's really fun, so it allows your mind to take a break from lifting, and by the time you get back to your lifting day, not only that your body has recovered, but your mind is also ready to engage another lifting day. I think this kind of training style strikes a balance of pushing yourself hard enough, but at the same time focusing on sustainability and longevity of training. I think as we all get older, we want to try to find ways to integrate training into our daily lifestyle that allows us to do it every day, really, hopefully for the rest of our lives, right? It's one thing about extending your age and you know, growing as old as you can, but it's another thing to actually have good quality of life as you age. I have seen many people around me who are of similar ages in their later stages of life. So, for example, 2 or 3 different people at the same age of 73, 75, but they live very, very different quality of lives. And it's a very different lifestyle when you're 75 and you're dormant and you're having to be wheeled around everywhere you go, or you're having to walk around with crutches, or having your kids hold your arms every time you get up a chair. You know, it's not good to be aging and have a low quality of life and not able to move around as you please. You know, I think it's worth investing in your health from a very early age so that you can age gracefully. And it's also not just about investing in your physical health, it's more about the mindset. If you train your mind to be disciplined with being healthy, being consistent with your training and the way you eat, the way you live, it's going to be ingrained in you, so that when you get older, this is just a part of who you are. It's a part of your lifestyle. The byproduct, of course, is that your body is going to be much healthier compared to people who are not very active. But the more difficult thing to develop is actually a good habit. People who are in their late 50s and 60s, it's not that their body is incapable of being active again. You often hear old people complain, oh man, I'm just too old, I don't have the strength anymore, I don't have the power anymore. It's not because their body is the limitation. Actually, it's because they haven't developed the habit to live that kind of life. Because I have seen many 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds who are very active and very strong. They could even be stronger than guys who are in their 40s. So again, I think physical limitation is much less of an issue than what people think. I don't think we need to accept as a default that as we get older we're just going to become inactive, immobile, and just having to rely on everybody. So I think it sucks, and we don't want to grow old that way, right? So it's a good idea to invest in your habit from a very early age. Okay, so here I think we're already almost at the last round of the heavy bags. I think the previous round I was just doing freestyle, just combination of straights and looping punches. And here, just in between the rounds, playing around with the bag. And now this is the last round of the heavy bag, so it's just sort of a burnout round. Trying to maintain straight punches, and then later switching on to looping punches, and just trying to stay active for 3 minutes straight. Throwing in power punches every now and then, but really it's just about burning the punches out. After this last round of heavy bag, I have one more round of shadow boxing, almost as a cooling down of the workout. So I sandwich my heavy bag work with shadow boxing rounds, basically a shadow boxing warm-up round at the very beginning of the workout, and then another round of shadow boxing at the very end. The idea is that in the beginning of the workout is just to warm up your body, to prepare yourself for the workout, and after hitting the heavy bag for a few rounds to cool off. At the end of the workout, I do another shadow boxing that focuses more on skills and, again, visualization. So maybe there is a kind of a combination or a counter attack that I want to practice, that I want to get my body to respond to and get used to it, so that I can test it out when I spar, right? Because when you're sparring, you can't really think anymore. Your body's going to move according to the things that you have drilled into it. It's going to remember movement patterns. It's going to remember reaction patterns, right? What your eyes see and how that translates into a movement in your body. That's something that we have to drill over and over again. And I use my last round of shadow boxing both as a cooling down, because it's less physically demanding, but also as a way to hone a specific skill, combination, or a counter reaction. So here we are just coming up to the end of the round, finishing up and just really burning out the punches onto the bag. Straight punches, body shots, hooks, uppercuts, mixing it up. Power shots with the right hook, power shots with the left hook. Looks a little silly, but you know. Alright, so that's the end of the round, and then this is the last round that I was talking about earlier. I'm working on a way to counter a 1-2 basically. So you can see I'm imagining a 1-2 coming at me, maybe a 1-1, 1-1-2. Basically, I try to imagine as soon as I notice a 2 coming my way, I weave under it and counter with the left uppercut. So again, here I'm imagining an opponent throwing 1, 1, 1, and 1-2, weaving and countering with a left hook. Right, I'm trying to imagine different patterns. Maybe the opponent throws a 2 without a 1, or maybe double 1s into a 2, or 1 and then 1-2 at different rhythms. It's really just trying to train my brain and trying to train my eyes to see when a 2 is coming my way, having my body to react by doing a weave and then a counter left. I think this kind of shadow boxing is much more productive than using the heavy bag in order to train this kind of movement pattern and ability. So yeah, that's the last round of today's workout. Tomorrow we're back on the grind. We're back with another full body workout. We're going back into one of the 3 workouts that I've posted before that you can see. And we're just keeping at it. Stay motivated, stay disciplined, stay consistent. That's really the way to do it.